What's going on YouTube? Earlier this week, Apple unveiled all their additions to their software suite. So, of course, WWDC, every version of their software got an update. So, iOS, macOS, iPadOS, visionOS, tvOS, watchOS, and everything in between. So, we're going to do our best to go over what has changed because there's quite a few changes and what to expect in terms of the direction they're going and basically the theme of this year. Starting in September, of course, everything will come out as usual. So what is Apple trying to do with their software? So let's get into it. So Vision OS is the first thing they talk about at WWDC. This definitely is on the small side compared to the other OS updates. There's no hint that they're going to release a cheaper headset or anything. And all the updates in this version of Vision OS are mainly working with others or hanging out with others virtually. So not much has changed, but we're still going to go over everything that has changed that they at least showed us. So this is the logo. Vision OS 2 is what it's called. No surprise. As mentioned, there's no indication that they're releasing a cheaper headset or anything. They just touted that there's going to be a lot of sharing features and hanging out with other Vision OS or Vision Pro, or maybe even a cheaper Vision headset, but they did show a lot of virtual spaces and presentations and such, so that seems to be the theme for this update, and it's rather minor. So here are all the official changes for Vision OS. So if you want to pause the screen and look, this is everything that they officially show as a change for Vision OS 2. And like I said, most of it is sharing and hanging out with others virtually, which is much needed, especially for the VR part of things. Maybe when they release a cheaper headset, things will get a lot nicer in terms of having more people and connectivity and such. Developers will probably get on board more, but for right now, this is what it is. The headset's too expensive, so you might not see many people in this virtual space, I guess you would say. So this is all the changes for Vision OS number 2. iOS was next in the keynote, and there's just so much to talk about on iOS. I'm definitely going to try my best to do other videos on this, but there's a lot to talk about, even more than what this platter shows. Most of the updates here are going to be customization. There are some cool little features like texting via satellite and wallet rewards. There's definitely some bigger features than others, like the hide apps using Face ID. But a lot of it is customization, like changing the home screen icons to whatever you want, changing the theme, color, changing the lock screen shortcuts. So a lot of Android-based features here in terms of iOS. There is a feature that they did not show in this version, but they definitely get to later in the keynote, so we'll go over that. But for now, at least on the iOS side, just a lot of customizations. I'm going to do my best to do videos on those in particular because there's just so much stuff changing here. There's no way I can get it all in this video. So this minor section of the keynote is just updating a lot of audio and tvOS stuff. AirPods get even more features like gesture controls, nodding yes or no to answer questions, audio isolation. tvOS gets some more integration, and then HomeKit gets a lot more integration as well, like robot vacuums and stuff. So this is really nice improvement, but it's definitely on the smaller side of the keynote as well. I believe this is everything that's in tvOS as well, because I don't remember them talking about tvOS in particular. But either way, these are some nice improvements. Siri will get a lot better and easier to use for finding content or getting info on content. That's one thing they touted a lot too. So definitely much improved. It makes the tvOS, AirPods, and other things like HomeKit a lot more elegant to use, and definitely keeps up with the competition because they kind of have been falling behind on this. So that's a good thing. So watchOS is next. This one's rather small as well, but the features are pretty nice. The big one is there's a new application called Vitals, and essentially it gives you a summary of your health and how healthy you are and what things you may need to change or maybe improve upon. They added a lot more workout routines and such, but the big one is an effort rating. Basically, it tells you, are you doing too much or are you doing too little, and how to improve your workout so you can get the best results you're looking for. This is good to keep people on track for sure. They added a lot more pregnancy testing and cycle tracking and all that, so that's good. Overall, this update for watchOS is definitely on the fitness side. Not much has changed in terms of features. We don't know how the new Apple Watch will be, but definitely it's probably going to have more sensors than what it does now because of the Vitals app and other health tracking things for workouts. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do to make these additions to watchOS more important. Next up is iPadOS. Once again, not much has changed here, at least on the forefront of iPad. The biggest one was, of course, the calculator. It's finally here. It's been so long, but a calculator has been added. But they didn't just add a calculator, they added a new section of the calculator called Math Notes, I believe. And basically, you can write out equations and it'll solve it for you. You can do physics, geometry, and all the basic and maybe even advanced math stuff. We don't know yet, but for sure they definitely spent some time in that. Other than that, there's not much that's changed in iPadOS. It's just a lot of quality of life improvements. Of course, everything from iOS will be transferring over, so bigger icons, move icons anywhere you want, interactive widgets, and the like. But the big thing was definitely the math notes from the calculator, so that's pretty interesting. But iPadOS is still limited to many people. We'll see what they do with it later on. So macOS is pretty much the last software they talk about in the keynote. Not much has changed here. It's just a lot of iOS integration, like the notifications will appear on the Mac. And then, of course, you have the Passwords app, which I did not mention earlier, but there's a Passwords Manager application that will be on the Mac. A lot of third-party support. But the big thing that they did add was the iPhone mirroring. So basically, you just find your iPhone, it has to be nearby, and then it will mirror the exact screen of your iPhone on the Mac. And your iPhone will pretty much be in a special sleep mode, and you do everything you need to on your iPhone on the Mac. So you don't have to pick up your phone to look at anything. You can just do it right on the Mac if you're working or whatever. This is pretty cool. I can't wait to try this out myself. This will reduce distractions and stuff for sure, because you don't have to pick up your phone every time. And as I mentioned, if a notification comes through, you can just answer it on the Mac. It will pull up the iPhone application, so you don't have to once again pick up your phone and do it that way. So amazing change. Here is the biggest announcement of the keynote right here, and that is Apple Intelligence. This is their introduction of the AI that is going on around the world. Of course, everyone knows about it now. But AI is running the world, and Apple decides to join in, and that's what it's called, Apple Intelligence. So, of course, they're going to be integrating with all others safely, ChatGPT and OpenAI and all that. They're going to do it, but in a safe manner. And then, of course, here's everything that they tout they can do. It's a ton of stuff. It's way more than I can go over in this video, but basically integration in everything: macOS, iPadOS, watchOS. Everything is going to have integration. Siri gets a major upgrade. There's a lot of contextual upgrades, so it's going to be easier to talk to Siri and get things done. A ton of features, and I'll do my best to go over them later on in other videos, but it's good to see that Apple is jumping in the AI game, because they really need to. Siri needs a major improvement, so I hope this really helps get Siri back up to par with other assistants. Of course, Apple touts privacy, a lot of privacy, so we'll see how they do, but this is their introduction. And the biggest announcement of the keynote for sure is Apple Intelligence, their AI attempt. We'll see what they do with it, because Apple tends to be really good when it comes to control and getting things to work properly and securely. So I'm excited to see how they handle this AI integration with everything they're doing. Once again, it's iOS, iPadOS, watchOS, macOS, everything is going to have AI integration. And that's pretty much everything that this keynote offered. I'm excited to see what they do with the AI. I hope this helped you out in terms of getting a recap of the 2-hour event, because yeah, this was longer than usual. So if it did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll once again do videos on as much as I can when it comes to software and hardware. And of course, when stuff comes out in September, I'll be doing videos on that and see how they integrate it all together. Because that's the big thing with Apple, is they can integrate it closely together to make it work seamlessly. So I'll catch you then. Peace.